Okay. So the next quantum number is going to be, okay, L. Sorry. So L is actually called the angular momentum quantum number, and the angular momentum quantum number is actually will tell you the shape of the orbital. Okay. Now, yung N, kung maalala nyo kanina, yung N is actually the principal quantum number. Ang allowed numbers for N are actually positive integers or your counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, yung allowed values for L, okay, is actually different. Okay, so you're going to start from 0. Okay, so 0 and then hanggang N minus 1. Okay, so say for example, if your N is actually if your N is actually 2, okay? So ano nga ba yung L values ng L values of N equals 2? So mag-uumpisa ka sa 0, okay? And then you're going to subtract 1, so 1, okay? So fortunately yung 1 is already N minus 1. So 2 minus 1, so L is actually 0 and 1, okay? Okay, so anong gagawin natin dito sa allowed values na to? So we are going to relate that to the number of nodal planes, okay? So if your L is 0, okay? So ibig sabihin wala kang nodal plane, so that's going to be your S orbital. Okay? Katulad ng bola kanina, wala ka naman nakikitang nodal plane diyan kasi bola yan. I mean lahat is already a shaded region. Okay? Okay, now if your L is equal to 1, okay? Okay, so therefore you have one nodal plane that's going to be your p orbital. So asan nga ba yung nodal plane ng p orbital? Yun, okay? Wala kang nakikitang electron dyan. L equals 2, okay? So this is going to be the d orbital, okay? Meron kang dalawang nodal planes, okay? Asan yung dalawang nodal planes ng d orbital? Ayun, okay? Wala kang electron density doon, okay? Okay, and then finally, okay, we sure don't have G. Finally, if your L is 3, okay, that's going to be your F orbital. So again, L actually is related to the number of nodal planes. So meron kang actually so anim na lobes, okay? Pero meron kang tatlong nodal planes. Okay. So SPDF. Okay, now isipin mo, saan kaya natin na-encounter tong SPDF na ito? Saan natin na-encounter ang SPDF? Anyone from the audience? Where have you encountered SPDF? Sirit? Okay, the SPDF are actually the blocks in the periodic table. Okay, so meron kang S block, okay, the P block, the D block, and the F block. Okay, anong sabi ko sa inyo kanina? The quantum model actually mirrors, okay, the periodic table. Okay, so yung L, okay, which is the shape of the orbital, okay, allowed values is from 0 to n minus 1, okay, and the value of L is actually related to the nodal planes, okay, so tandaan natin to, kung L is 0, it's going to be S, wala kang nodal plane, L is 1, that's going to be the p orbital, L is 2, that's going to be the p orbital, and these designations, okay, are actually used in the periodic table, okay, yung blocks, okay, makikita natin mamaya that these blocks, okay, are very important in assigning, okay, the electron configuration. Okay? May mga tanong? Wala? Kung wala kayong tanong, pwede nyong i-reserve until the very end, then I'm going to try to address it. Okay. Now, punta tayo sa next na topic. So this is called the NL notation. Okay? Ano nga ba tong NL notation na to? So basically N, is your shell, tapos yung L is actually your orbital shape, or it could also mean the subshells. Okay. Balikan natin yung yung Schrodinger model. So again, the distinguishing mark of the Schrodinger model is you have actually subcomponents. Okay, so meron kang subshells, okay, within a shell. Okay, so again, for n equals 1, okay, maybe I'm going to try to explain this a little bit more. Let me use a different color here. Okay. Okay. So if you have n equals 1, so if you have n equals 1, okay, so ano nga ba yung L value nito? So you're going to start from 0, right? So kung meron kang L equals 0, so ibig sabihin wala kang nodal plane, so this is going to be the s orbital. Okay? So tama-tama lang, di ba? Now if you have n equals 2, okay? So your L is going to be 0 and 1, okay? Ano nga ba tong 0 and 1 na to? So you are going to have your S and then your P, okay? So remember S, 0 nodal plane, 1, okay? You have one, kung L is equals 1, you have 1 nodal plane, so there's going to be the P orbital. Now let's look at your N equals 3. Okay, so your L values, this is going to be 0, 1, and 2. And that's going to correspond to your S, P, and D. So nakikita natin yan, may S, P, D. Okay? And then N equals 4. Okay? N equals 4. L is going to be 0, 1, 2, and 3. Remember, until N minus 1 lang. Okay, so this is S, P, D, and F. Okay? Now, okay lang na gamitin natin itong picture na to. Pero again, hindi naman palagi nakasulat itong picture na ito sa periodic table. So now, why don't I show you how I will be able to tell to my students ang model na ito using the periodic table. Okay. Umpisan natin. Anong sabi natin kanina? Yung energy levels is actually given by your period, right? Okay. Now, umpisan natin yung n equals 1. Okay, so we could actually draw a line here, okay, representing the row. Anong letters ang nakikita nyo? S lang, di ba? I only have S here and S here. So essentially, that's just S, okay? Now, n equals 2. What letters do you see? So basically, it encompasses, okay, the S block, meron kang S dito, and the P block, right? N equals 3, okay, na medyo may complexity ito. N equals 3, okay, bababa ka ng isa. Okay. Okay. So n equals 3, you have S, P, and D. Very good, diba? So see, I mean, pag pinakita natin to sa estudyante, mas ma-absorb nila kasi you are using basically parang how do I call this? Parang mnemonic device na yung yung periodic table, okay? And then n is equivalent to 4, okay? So n is equivalent to 4. N equals 4 actually. Then bababa ka dito. And meron ka pang 4 dito. So 4F. So meron kang S, okay? P, D, and F. Okay? So kaya n equals 4, meron kang S, P, D, F. Okay? So, yan. So, basically, ano nakikita natin, the periodic table really mirrors the quantum model. Okay? Nakalimutan kong i-discuss sa inyo ano mga pa tong NL notation na ito. Okay? So, the NL notation will be very important later on for electronic configuration. Okay? So, what is this NL notation? Okay. So ang NL notation is basically N is your energy level and L is actually your type of orbital, which is also, okay, which is also the block. Okay, kunwari, meron kang 3s dito. So anong ibig sabihin ng 3s na ito? Okay? So N equivalent to 3 and then yung S dito L is equivalent to 0. Pag kung yung L ay 0, ibig sabihin nasa S block ka. If L is actually 1, nasa P block ka. D is kung meron kang L is equivalent to 2, nasa D block ka, and so forth and so on. Okay, again, L equals 0, nasa S block ka. Okay, L is 1, nasa P block. L is equivalent to 2, nasa D block ka. Okay, so that is actually how to explain the subshells or the sublevels using the periodic table of elements. Again, the period will tell you the energy level, and then the blocks will actually tell you of the subshells. Okay? May mga tanong po ba? Okay? Medyo nahihiya po kayo, okay? Or baka busy kayo sa Christmas party. I mean, kumakain siguro kayo ng spaghetti ngayon, kaya hindi kayo makapagsalita.